Premier League standings heat up. Man City refuse to let Arsenal pull away. Liverpool lose ground in the top 5 race. Manchester City came from behind to beat Liverpool, keeping their hopes alive in the chase for Arsenal. The heavyweight clash between Liverpool and Man City, the marquee fixture on Sunday night, February 8, delivered high drama right to the end. Liverpool took the lead thanks to a stunning free kick from Dominic Szoboszlai, sending Anfield into raptures. However, Manchester City mounted a late comeback with goals from Bernardo Silva and Erling Haaland. Liverpool's collapse was complete when Szoboszlai was sent off in stoppage time, sealing a painful night for the home side. With this result, Manchester City have ensured that the points gap to league leaders Arsenal has not widened. The two sides remain 6 points apart. Looking ahead, City face a relatively favourable run of fixtures, with no truly difficult opponents until mid-April, when they meet Chelsea. Arsenal, by contrast, will begin a demanding stretch from the end of this month, facing a series of tough opponents before eventually meeting Manchester City in the League Cup final. Meanwhile, Liverpool's defeat has left them 4 points behind 5th-placed Chelsea in the race for the top 5. They have also been caught on points by Brentford, further complicating their push for European qualification. Earlier, before the Liverpool-Manchester City showdown, Crystal Palace secured a 1-0 away win over Brighton, bringing an end to their 9-match winless run. Ismaila Sarr scored the only goal of the match, lifting Palace above Brighton into 13th place with 32 points, exactly 1 point clear of their rivals. Both teams had spent parts of the season hovering around the European qualification places. Now, however, they find themselves in the bottom half of the table, though still not too far adrift of the top 7. The gap between Palace and 7th-placed Brentford stands at just 7 points. Matchday 25 of the Premier League kicked off on Friday with an emotional victory for Leeds United over Nottingham Forest. Playing at home, Leeds produced a high-tempo, aggressive pressing display that left their opponents with no room to breathe. Their 3 goals were the inevitable outcome of a dominant performance. Nottingham Forest managed only a consolation goal on a night when their defence was repeatedly torn apart. The win gives Leeds renewed belief in their fierce relegation battle. At Old Trafford, Manchester United hosted Tottenham in a highly anticipated encounter. Tottenham enjoyed more possession but struggled to break down United's disciplined defensive setup. The Red Devils played pragmatic, controlled football and were ruthlessly efficient. 2 well-taken goals, without unnecessary flair, were enough to underline their credentials as a serious top 4 contender. At the Vitality Stadium, Bournemouth and Aston Villa played out a balanced contest. Bournemouth showed relentless fighting spirit, while Aston Villa demonstrated composure and experience. The two sides traded blows, each scoring once, and ultimately settled for a draw that accurately reflected the flow of the match. Fulham appeared to have the upper hand after opening the scoring against Everton. But the visitors showed impressive resilience. Everton stayed calm, maintained their structure, and waited patiently for opportunities. 2 second-half goals completed a dramatic comeback, earning Everton 3 invaluable points in the relegation fight. Chelsea continued their impressive run of form with an away victory at Wolves. The hosts started with determination but could not withstand Chelsea's sharp, incisive attacks. The visitors scored 3 goals with remarkable efficiency. While Wolves' defensive weaknesses were once again exposed, Chelsea are gradually rediscovering the look of a true heavyweight. Arsenal made no mistakes in their home clash against Sunderland. They dominated possession, imposed their style of play, and cruised to a comfortable 3-0 victory. It was a performance befitting a title contender, clinical, composed, and ruthless in execution. Burnley welcomed West Ham hoping to take something from the match, but the visitors showed their seasoned experience. Without needing to dominate possession, West Ham delivered deadly counterattacks and finished the job with 2 clean, efficient goals. Burnley fought hard but were unable to make the difference. At St James's Park, Newcastle and Brentford delivered one of the most thrilling matches of the round. Newcastle equalised twice, but each time Brentford found an answer. The decisive goal arrived in the dying moments, silencing the home crowd and sealing a courageous victory for Brentford. The South Coast Derby between Brighton and Crystal Palace was tense and tightly contested. Brighton controlled possession, but Crystal Palace were more clinical when chances arose. A single moment of quality was enough to decide the match in a closely fought encounter. Matchday 25 of the Premier League concludes with shocks, dramatic comebacks, and above all, a powerful statement from Manchester City at Anfield. The title race, the battle for the top four, and the fight to avoid relegation are all more intense than ever. In the Premier League, every mistake comes at a price.